What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. I'm Swipa. Welcome to the channel. Woo! Y'all. So we just got done with the Denver Nuggets 2022 Media Day. And you know what? It was pretty solid. Now, there's a lot of different things that we learned. There's a lot of great takeaways, a lot of new developments, interesting information we learned about, and all that other stuff. So, bro, we got a lot of stuff to break down, a lot of stuff to talk about. But y'all go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know we're continuing to get up to 10,000 subscribers. This is going to be an incredible season. Y'all, the season officially starts today. The season officially started today. The 2022 NBA season for the Denver Nuggets officially just started. And there's a lot of storylines. There's a lot of information to get to. We got a whole bunch of new players that are building up this Denver Nuggets roster, as well as some old faces that made appearance today. And I'm not going to lie, it felt really good to see a lot of the players. We hadn't heard from Jamal Murray in a long time. We hadn't heard from Nikola Jokic since right before the season ended, and he left out to go play in World Cup qualifier and Eurobasket and all that. We hadn't heard directly from Bruce Brown. We had heard a slight interview from KCP at Summer League, but hadn't heard much of anything. And Michael Porter Jr., we hadn't heard from him directly about his back, about how he's feeling, and updates around what he might be looking out for this season. So it was a lot of really, really interesting information. And I actually want to start off with Coach Michael Malone. So Calvin Booth, GM of the Denver Nuggets. Also, he is the interim, I believe, president of basketball operations right now, and it looks like he might be able to stay in that role, all things go well. But the thing about Michael Malone is that Michael Malone's always been a very direct communicator for the most part. He's had a lot of interesting things to say about the Denver Nuggets season. He provided some really, really key insight into kind of how he's thinking, but also what he's looking forward to from the Denver Nuggets this year. And I thought it was really interesting, because some of the stuff that he said was not stuff that surprises you, right? Like, you kind of expected him to say it, but it was just interesting because it's kind of stuff that people have been talking about. We've been speculating. So we made the additions of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, made the additions of Bruce Brown, made the additions of DeAndre Jordan, drafted Christian Brown, drafted Peyton Watson, drafted Ismail Kamagate. So they have gone out of their way to make really solid defensive additions. And it's so interesting because Coach Michael Malone said today that the goal of the Denver Nuggets is to be a top 5 defense this season. They said that this is the season that they want to take a step into the elite status among NBA defenses. Now, what's really interesting about it is they had a plan. They went into the summer with a plan. Calvin Booth got the pieces that are here together. And some of this is going to coincide with something Nikola Jokic says later that I'm going to address here in a minute. But I think that goes to show you the priorities. Offensively, the Denver Nuggets know they're going to be elite. Offensively, they have the tool set to be the best offense in basketball. But at the very minimum, let's say they should be around top 5, top 4. Now, the reason is because they were number 6 last year with Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, Monte Morris, and Will Barton. Now you got Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and then again Nikola Jokic with Bones Highland and Bruce Brown and Christian Brown and the rest of the roster. So hopefully they're going to be in the top 1 to top 2 of offenses in the NBA. Well, Michael Malone has brought it up many times that if you look at the Boston Celtics, look at the Golden State Warriors, you look at Miami Heat, the team that were sitting in the conference finals, including the Mavericks, they were all top 5 to top 4 defenses throughout the NBA, because you're going to need defensive versatility. The further you go into the season, the further you climb the ladder into the NBA playoffs, you're going to need to have defensive versatility that helps you take advantage of matchups. So when your team has issues with ball handling, you're able to trap and put a lot of pressure on the guards. When your team likes to attack the rim, we want to make sure that we have rim protections at the rim that are at least able to offer very good contest, if not be able to block the shot. We want to be connected. That way, when we are double teaming, that short roll disadvantage is not there for us as a defense. That they're not taking advantage of the corner threes. That when they do pass out there, we're able to rotate from the wing down. And then whoever the man kicked up to the help side defense is able to kick back out to the wing and take over that man. We want to make sure that we're connected. So here's the thing. I don't think that's ludicrous. Now, I have said that I expect the Denver Nuggets to have a top 7 to 9 defense going into next season. But a lot of this is going to hinge on the fact that you're going to have improved defensive personnel. The Denver Nuggets are going to be much bigger than they were last year. Jamal Murray, who actually is 6'5", Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is 6'5", Devon Reed at 6'5", having Christian Brown at 6'6". Just those 4 guards, those are your guards, were your shortest man outside of Ish Smith when he comes into the game is going to be 6'5". That's going to give a lot of options for you when you want to be able to match up and play really, really strong defense on the perimeter especially. But then you got Michael Porter Jr. at 6'11", who, again, isolation, one-on-one defender, not his skill set, but the length that he's going to offer your team with Aaron Gordon, who's 6'8", Michael Porter Jr. at 6'10.5", and then obviously with Nikola Jokic at 7 feet tall. Then you get DeAndre Jordan, who's not going to play heavy minutes, but can he be an adequate enough rim protector that he at least on that second unit deters your ability to just go to the rim at will? Some of that's going to come down to that. Now, I don't expect for a lot from DeAndre Jordan, but even based on his comments today, he fully believes that he's ready to play basketball. He fully believes that he's ready to take advantage of the opportunity in front of him, playing anywhere from 10 to 14 minutes a game. He's ready to do that, ready to get the job done. And I'm willing to give him the opportunity. I am not a huge fan of what he's done the past couple of seasons, especially last year with the Philadelphia 76ers. But maybe, given this context, maybe given this roster, this will be enough to help him succeed as a basketball player. That's my hope. That's what I'm going to expect from him. So I really love the comments from Coach Michael Malone on being a top 5 defense. Something else he said that Zeke Naji is an NBA big. Now, which is interesting. Zeke Naji comes out later and said he feels best as a forward, as a power forward. So it sounds like Zeke Naji is going to get an opportunity to play the 5 in certain lineups with Jeff Green, which Zeke Naji also gained 10 pounds. So he's gained 10 pounds of muscle this summer. He's been in Denver the entire summer working out with Felipe. And so now, hopefully, he's able to bang better down low. He's able to secure rebounds. And he also said he's been working a lot on rim rolling. He's still going to be really efficient and really good at pick and pop. He wants his three-point usage to go up this year as well. But I think, again, having a front court where you have DeAndre Jordan, Zeke Naji, Jeff Green, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic, that should be more than good enough for you to take some real good steps defensively, or significant steps defensively, I would say, because Michael Malone wants to be top 5. So I really love that comment from him. Michael Malone, I think jokingly said that he challenged Jokic to join Larry Bird and Bill Russell to be a 3-time consecutive MVP. Now, he smiled when he said it, but again, some of this is going to be to Jokic. Like, Jokic offensively is going to be better because he's going into his age 27 season. But Michael Malone has been communicating he wants him to defensively take a leap this season. Now, while he may not be able to block every shot, according to Coach Michael Malone, he can do a better job at contesting and body position and consistency. So I would expect that is a realistic leap you can expect from Nikola Jokic this season. That he knows that in order for them to have a top 5 defense, there are certain things he's going to need to be able to do as a defender. And let me go ahead and share this because I think it's pertinent for right now. So when Nikola Jokic is talking, because all this goes back into the defensive segment that we're in right now, Nikola Jokic earlier today, during the interview, when he was up for the media session with Jamal Murray, he said, I can be a bad one-on-one defensive player, but I can be a really good team defensive player. I'll repeat it again. I can be a bad one-on-one defensive player, but I can be a really good team defensive player. Now, this is really important because he's acknowledging foot speed, vertical athleticism, the things that typically you need to be elite at in order to be an elite defender. You don't have those skill sets. It's not your fault. We're not physically born with those kind of gifts. But team defense means connected defense, situational defense. I can be in the right place at the right time. I can be more stout at the rim. I can be better with my timing, better with my hand movement, better with my foot movement to the best of your ability in pick and roll coverage. I can just be a better defender by how I'm approaching the defensive area of the basketball. Now, I thought this was really honest because I like that he says that I can be a really bad one-on-one defensive player or a bad one-on-one defensive player, but I can be a really good team defensive player because he understands that defense is about the entire organism working together. The defense has to move on the court at the same time in the same place. The ball rotates to the wing or to the baseline. Everybody has to be able to rotate while being connected to the man. If they're having to slip through screens in order to chase a man off ball, if they're having to make sure they're hedging soft or hard, they have to make sure their rotations backside on the short roll are correct, having to make sure that when they get to the rim, their hands are going straight up and they're doing a heavy contest at the rim, making sure they're running people off with a three-point line, all of that. It's really important. And that's what he's referencing. I can be a really good team defender. And I believe he can be because at different times he's been an elite team defender. But then as the season goes on, he gets more tired. Maybe some of his habits get a little lazier. And then therefore the team defense will start to suffer. But not just because of him. But again, as a backline defender, you're the most important defensive piece that you have on a team. So that was really interesting. Michael Malone also said that he at least made it seem like they're going to be really cognizant of how they're playing Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Now, here's the thing. I think that Jamal Murray is going to get good minutes, but you can tell some of the back-to-backs, some of those other things, I think they're going to be really cautious just because his knee, he still experiences sore knee symptoms. But here's the thing. If you never hurt your knee before, like I tore my meniscus in high school. So you will experience a soreness because your knee is just getting back to feeling the way it normally was. And it's just the overall wear and tear of your body. And it just so happens that you have a surgically repaired knee. And so you have just to continue to allow your knee to get more used to that contact on a consistent basis. And eventually it goes away. But it's not like a painful feeling. It's just like a tension that you feel. And so Jamal Murray is communicating that he's fully ready to go. But it's just getting used to what it feels like early on in the process is what he's referencing. So yeah, it's a good note from him. I think again they're going to be really conscientious about how they're playing him. But Michael Porter Jr., Michael Malone, said they're going to meet tomorrow with him and Calvin Booth and the rest of the team, maybe the training team, come up with a plan for the preseason for Jokic, Murray, and Porter. But Porter made it very clear today. Very clear. Michael Porter Jr. said, direct quote in his media session, "I would prefer to play 82 games. I don't think skipping games is the way to save your body. You got to respect the game. You should play when you can play and help your team win as many games as possible." So Michael Porter Jr. let it be known that if I'm healthy, I want to play. If I'm able to go, I want to play. Simple as that. I don't need to sit down. I don't need to rest. He's basically the antithesis of the Clippers. He said that I'm committed to every night giving my very best to my performance. And so you juxtapose that with what Michael Malone said. Again, it doesn't seem that it conflicts, but you can just tell that the staff and the coaching staff and the training staff, they're just going to be very aware of the minutes that he's getting and also how they need to continue to just make sure they're monitoring his body and his overall health. But Michael Porter Jr. will get to admit that he's completely fine. So those were the main takeaways I had. Coach Malone, you can tell that they have very high expectations internally for the Denver Nuggets this year, both Michael Malone and Calvin Booth as well. There was no mention of ownership per se, but ownership also because they spent all this money on the payroll and they obviously, making all these additions to the team and everything else. There's just high expectations. So I do think that Coach Malone said that his championship or bust season at the end of last season when they were kind of going into the summer, said we're in a championship or bust territory, but it is what it is, man. Like I really, really am excited for what he does. And I think Coach Malone could be up for Coach of the Year this year because they're going to make a significant improvement. If they make a real leap defensively in top 5, I think you can see some of that. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Do you think Coach Malone could get some votes for Coach of the Year this year? So then right after that, we had DeAndre Jordan and we had Jeff Green. And that was a very fun interview to watch. You could tell they have a really great chemistry. They played together in Brooklyn. They've known each other a long time. They were definitely the jokiest, well, Murray and Porter and stuff as well. But yeah, they just really, you could tell, have a lot of chemistry. And so I think the thing is that DeAndre Jordan's ready just to show Nuggets Nation, to show the rest of the NBA, hey, I'm not an all-star anymore. I'm not all NBA anymore, but I can do my job. And I do hope, for the Nuggets' sake, he's able to do it. Jeff Green, similar sentiments. He wants to do a job. He's been taking the role as mentor for Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and Jack White, telling them about the NBA, trying to help them have a long-term perspective on the NBA, all that other kind of stuff. So then we move to Michael Porter Jr. and Bruce Brown. All right. So Michael Porter Jr. direct quote says, "I feel good. The offseason was about me getting confidence in my body. Again, but I feel good." And then when he would ask about basically how do you regain confidence after coming back from an injury, and this is a direct quote once again from Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. said, "I don't think you ever really lose confidence, someone like me. You always just try to persevere through stuff." And I love it. I love it. Michael Porter Jr. doesn't lack confidence because there's no reason to lack confidence. He even said that you can't worry about, like, if you go for a rebound, stepping on somebody's ankle, you can't worry about, like, the worst outcome, anything like that. He says, "I feel healthy. I feel good. The doctors, they also think I look good and feel good, but most importantly, I feel good about myself." He said he's been training himself physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally to be able to not just recover, but also how do I go about the process of shoring up my mind and shoring up my body. That way I'm as healthy as possible for the season through the duration of the season. So really, really good stuff from Michael Porter Jr. He seems to be 100% healthy. 100% healthy. So we're not going to see him fully in the preseason, but I fully expect, even Nikola Jokic said, you could just tell in the way he's thinking, the way he's processing information, that he is just ready. Michael Porter Jr. is just ready for the moment. And that was one of my biggest takeaways and really what I was so encouraged by. Bruce Brown also said today, we all know that I'm here for defense. Bruce Brown was not missing any words at all. He also wanted it to be known that he shot 40% from three last year because that was the best shooting year of his career. And so Bruce Brown is here for defense. He's here to cut. He's here to be a tertiary player, a role player. And he's also, again, he's here to knock down shots. So Bruce Brown has a very clear indication of what his role is. And that's going to be extremely helpful, because the Denver Nuggets are going to be really, really relying on Bruce Brown this season. So really, really great stuff from Michael Porter Jr., really, really great stuff from Bruce Brown. I'm expecting really big things from Michael Porter Jr. and Bruce Brown, but we'll see. We'll definitely continue to see. So next, we had Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray. Now, I'm not going to hold y'all. When I first saw them, it was just so good to see them again because we haven't really got a chance to watch them in the playoff. We haven't gotten an opportunity to see them perform at a high level since April of 2021. Jokic just won 2 MVPs and become the arguable best player in the NBA since all that stuff happened. But here we are. We have a chance to hear from Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. And Jamal Murray off the bat got 3 questions for Jokic, got 1. Because I think everybody is just so curious to hear where Jamal Murray is mentally, but also they want to hear about what his expectations are for himself and how the process has been for him. Jamal Murray, man, was just really, really good to hear that he is in a good mental place, that, he was physically ready to come back really around the game, the Memphis game, it sounds like, the one that Nikola Jokic had the 2,000, 1,500, and then 100. He was ready to come back around that time, but apparently he just didn't feel mentally like he was there, which is, again, completely understandable. So I really like that Jamal Murray was able to make an executive decision for himself to say that, look, physically, I can do it. But I don't want to put myself through that mentally and emotionally and spiritually because I'm just not ready to do that. But Jamal sounds like he's fully ready to go. He's enjoyed doing the pickup. He's enjoyed doing 5-on-5. He's enjoyed the process. But he said that I'm ready to just get out and play a game. Now, I don't care if I go 0-10, but I'm ready to be in a game-like situation. I'm ready to see what I have, and I'm ready to build on that. And so I love that. Jamal Murray at this point, again, there's no more questions about health. There's no more questions about this, and that. All the questions for Jamal are about, are you ready to go? He said yes. And now they're prime position to be ready to make some noise to start the season off right. Nikola Jokic has some really good quotes, like I said. Nikola Jokic, you could tell, was somebody who had just gotten back from Serbia, and somebody who was with their family, and somebody who was speaking his own language, somebody who was playing Eurobasket in the World Cup qualifier. He just sounded like somebody who was just like, all right, I'm back at work, which is completely fine. Again, if he's a hometown kid, he's from Serbia, he's from Sombor, that's what he wants to do. And so I really enjoyed listening to him. And one of my favorite quotes of the Jokic era is when he said this. Jokic said that, like I said, I want to be the Tim Duncan of the Denver Nuggets, but I need to win a couple of championships to be him. So it's funny, Jokic has kind of crossed certain thresholds in his career. Jokic went from a very good player to an all-star player to an all-NBA level player to now a back-to-back MVP. But then on top of that, you could tell that he's so aware of who Tim Duncan is and what he means to the Spurs organization that he realizes that the only way to secure that level of legacy, I got to win a couple championships. I have to. So I'm really curious to see how he looks going into the year. I'm really curious because, again, offensively, he's going to be a giant. If you saw him in the Eurobasket, he looked like an offensive giant, but even defensively, he looked much improved. He played really good defense against Giannis in the World Cup qualifier, but that goes to it, though, right? Jokic making that leap defensively, that way the entire team can elevate to be a top 5 defense. That is it. I love that. And I think that if Jokic is able to take that step defensively, then the Denver Nuggets will be situated perfectly to be the number 1 seed and perhaps be the best team in the NBA next year. That was just really great from Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic didn't share a whole lot. He talked a little bit about the upcoming season, talked about his summer. Jamal Murray shared things about his summer training and all that stuff as well. But you could really just tell that Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are ready to go play. And they were asked at one point in time about their chemistry. Basically, how do you redevelop chemistry after not playing for so long? And you all talk about that stuff. And they said, when we talk on the phone, we don't even talk about basketball stuff like that. Like with us, it's just like, it's a feel. Like they just get it. They just know each other. They just understand how each other plays. So that's just going to be such a damaging mind meld next year because the NBA has been able to deal with Jokic without having an all-star level player next to him all last season. So now you got Jamal Murray back 100%, Michael Porter Jr. back 100%, plus Bone, plus KCP, plus Bruce, and Aaron Gordon. Yeah, man. They're ready to go. So I'm not concerned about it. I think, again, just make sure you're amping up slowly. Make sure you're getting used to what's happening in front of you. But shoot, once you believe what your eyes are telling you is Jamal Murray, once you believe what your eyes are telling you, Michael Porter Jr., yeah, man, this team is going to be an elite team. So huge shout out to them. That was a really great session, really great segment of the media day as well. I think that then you had Peyton Watson, then you had Davon Reed, who were next to each other. And, man, so you had Peyton Watson, Davon Reed, you had Zeke Naji and KCP, and then you had Christian Brown and Zach White. I really am just of the mindset that they are just ready to play elite defense, especially on the perimeter, from guards to wings. And they've got all the pieces around them to get it done. And so I'm really, really, really curious to see where are the Denver Nuggets after 25% of the season, 21 game passes, where are you? Are you located in that top 5? Are you kind of teetering around 7 or 8? Or are you completely out of the top 10 as well? Because anything outside the top 10 is a disappointment based on the personnel decisions they've made and also based on, again, comments from Coach Michael Malone and Calvin Booth. So really good session from them. Again, we also had Zeke Naji. And KCP. Zeke Naji looks a lot bigger. Again, he's gained 10 pounds. KCP is ready to go. Seems really excited to be a Denver Nugget. And, yeah, Bruce Brown Bruce Brown seems ready to go. Bruce Brown is ready to go. He's a shooter. He's a defender. Christian Brown's ready. Peyton Watson's ready. Ish Smith is ready. Aaron Gordon is ready. Like, they're just ready to go. They're a well-built team that has a very high ceiling on it. And so I'm really, really excited to see where they go from there. But yeah, let me know. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, you can go watch it on the Denver Nuggets YouTube. You can see for yourself some of all the clips and the interviews and everything else. But I'm telling y'all, man, I have a feeling that this is going to be a special season coming up for the Denver Nuggets. I have a feeling this is going to be a special season for the Denver Nuggets coming up. But all of it is going to come down to connectivity on defense, shot making on offense, and making sure that when you're supposed to be somewhere, that you're there, and making sure that you're ready to buy into the new mentality that the team is buying into. Being a top 10, top 5 defense, being a top 3 offense, and then everybody around Jokic, Murray, and Porter fitting in their roles together. And that's what's going to make the Denver Nuggets season that much special. So it was incredible, you all. It was really incredible. I'm really excited for them. I'm excited for everybody. Excited for everybody involved here, because I think the thing is they're going to be able to reach a peak that we have speculated, like the 2018, 2019 Denver Nuggets. We're going to see them reach a peak perhaps that team wasn't able to reach, simply because the talent is there and the connectivity is going to be there. And then defensively, this is their best defensive personnel they've had in the Michael Malone era, which says a lot, because they've had some good defenses and played good defenses in spots as well. So, yeah, man, it was great. It was a great day. It was a really, really good day for the Denver Nuggets media. I'm excited to see what happens to the rest of the season, you all. But y'all, let me know in the comment section what you think. Again, you can go check it out on YouTube. Go watch it for yourself. It's like, man, how long is it? Like 3 hours? Started at 11:30, 4 hours? That might have been almost a 4-hour media day. But anyway, y'all, I appreciate y'all. Swipa gang. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. We're on the way to 10,000 subscribers, you all. Let me know what you think about the Denver Nuggets season on the way. Y'all, make sure you plug in, because this season is going to be one that you'll never forget. Hey, y'all, I'll catch y'all soon.